Oh, hi guys. Today we're going to talk about phase 3 of filmmaking, editing.
Now essentially, editing is very simple. It really just boils down to compiling clips, cutting their length, and rearranging them. Now trust me, this is an art unto itself. What shots you use, how long you hold a shot, the order of shots, and their relationship to one another. Again, with all aspects of filmmaking, editing is just another layer of telling the story, developing characters, and conveying meaning and emotion. It's taking everything that you've shot and compiling it together in the most visually and audibly compelling way. Alright, now it's about time I really leveled with you about this. Editing can really make or break your film. It can be the difference between this and this isn't a burglary.
You're right. Nothing's missing. It's this.
and this.
And this isn't a burglary.
You're right. Nothing's missing.
Pete. It's not here.
So take editing seriously. In Connect, I used editing in the opening to convey a surprise. I cut rapidly from Joe to Maria and back again to symbolize the fast-paced world of texting. I then cut to the wide shot to reveal the irony of them sitting side by side, but in their own worlds. If I had stayed on the close-ups, you would have never known their physical proximity, and if I started with the wide shot, I would have given away the punchline. Now, editing is another layer that really sets film apart as an art form. In plays, you view the performance from a fixed point in one continuous take, whereas in film, you get the chance to view the poetry and visual rhythm of the story. Now, editing isn't something mathematical. Only a human can edit, and the reason for that is in order to edit well, you have to really feel your way through the whole editing process. Now, there aren't really any hard and fast rules when it comes to editing, just general tips to get you thinking in the right direction about how an editor uses techniques to convey meaning and emotion to the audience. The editor really gets to decide how the audience is going to feel and react at any given point in the film. He does this through rearrangement of the clips, through cutting the length, and so forth. It's really very simple in its essence. For example, holding too long can cause discomfort, and cutting too quickly can be jarring. Here's a quick example of the same exact scene edited in two drastically different ways. As an editor, you have to put yourself completely in the audience's shoes. You have to feel how they feel. A machine can't do that. You have the ability to take a fast scene and make it slow, or turn a defeat into a victory. Film editing lets you take the scene as a whole and determine its direction, given the footage you have to work with. It is up to the editor to determine how to make the audience feel at any time. You can leave your shots longer, or cut quickly, or cut to previous scenes to draw a connection and introduce a whole new dynamic. A few seconds of holding or cutting a shot can make the difference between the audience connecting with the character and them having a completely different reaction to what you had hoped. Take this example, for instance.
It's really not late, though. What if they drove off the road? They can't call for help. We have to go find them. It's really not late, though. What if they drove off the road? They can't call for help. We have to go find them. Now, which one of those did you connect more with my character? People need time to emotionally and intellectually connect with the character. You can't just give a context of a tragic scenario and make the audience care. We need time to get to know the characters and feel our connection with them grow. The importance of a shot is often designated by its length, and this is just another way of having the audience also resonate with that important aspect. You can't force it. You have to go through it and cut on your own human feelings and instinct. Editing, then, is really the art of time.
Let's get some tips from the editing master himself, Walter Murch, in his book, In the Blink of an Eye.
He summarizes the whole point of editing in one sentence in his book. How do you want the audience to feel? If they are feeling what you want them to feel all the way through the film, you've done about as much as you can ever do. Feel free to pause the video and study the 6 most important rules of editing. They are in order from greatest importance to least.
Ultimately, editing takes practice, as you learn to develop your style, when to cut, when not to cut, and how to tell your story. Let me show you a unique technique of editing.
The power and psychological impact of editing can be seen in the Kuleshov effect technique. Based on the images, the audience forms different ideas as to what I'm thinking. Editing is a lot like doing a puzzle. You take all the footage you have and piece it together until you have your masterpiece.